and Drug Act deals with manufacture, distribution, sale. It's a commercial act. But on this off-label use, the minister, the changes make it clear, well, we can also go after basically anyone for promotion. So you don't even have to be selling the drug. You don't have to have a commercial interest. This is brand new. I've never seen anything like this before. I'm going, well, why are they going after non-doctors? Like, why are they going after people not in the industry? Shadoe, they're going after you. And I'll explain that in a minute. And they're going after me. So, well, then the next changes is to basically give the minister godlike powers to ensure that no veterinary drug for love or money ever ends up for human use. And again, I'm going like, well, we're not really having a problem here. Like, a lot of people, will buy like, the iodine you rub on and stuff like that, because veterinary, it's just so cheap and it's just the same thing. Like, there is some crossover, but it's not a problem. Like, we don't have a problem here. So why is the Minister of Health stepping in? And then the Minister of Health's also stepping in to prevent off-label use of veterinary drugs. Now, Shadoe, I know that right now in Canada, there's a big problem with drug companies pushing, a drug that's approved for cows on sheep. That's why the media is talking about it 24/7, and everyone else. Well, no, I'm making that up. Like, really? That we've got an off-label, veterinarians are getting out of hand in off-label use? How, like, it makes no sense. Well,
comes back to ivermectin, doesn't it? This is ivermectin. Wait.
So then the next change is, and I have to say, so first of all, it's our food and drug regulations are kind of like collective wisdom, right? So like, let's say there's a class of drugs and, we allow it on the market at a certain level and we find out there's too much harm. Well, we'll pass a regulation lowering the level for the entire class of drugs, for example. In our food regulations, it's the same type of thing. Like, if you want orange popsicles, well, how much of a certain type of dye can you put in and it still be ultra safe? And ultra safe is no more than 1 death per million per year. So we, when we're 40 million Canadians, we can kill 40 kids a year to have orange popsicles, and we think that's still okay. But, just so we know what ultra safe means when I say that. But there are some fundamental protections that we actually put into our act because it's a red line in the sand. You can never breach these. And the one is you can't promote a drug fraudulently. Section 9 of our food and drug. So you cannot fraudulently promote a drug, whether you're the government or a company trying to get approval. You can't be fraudulent to the government. You can't be fraudulent to the public. It's a fundamental protection. Another fundamental protection is you cannot sell an adulterated drug. And when we, talk about this adulteration section, we're not talking about, manufacturer substituted one safe filler for another safe filler because they couldn't, source the other safe filler. We're talking about something in the drug that shouldn't be there that is dangerous to the human population. That's what we mean. So we have a fundamental protection against adulteration. And another protection we have that's fundamental in the Act is you can't sell a drug that is manufactured under unsanitary conditions. And we never bend on those things. Well, the Minister of Health is getting the power to exempt a drug from the fraud provisions, from the adulteration provisions, from the unsanitary manufacture provisions. And I'm thinking to myself, well, when is it in the public interest to allow, and if anyone can, chime in, when is it in the public interest to allow a drug to be sold fraudulently to the Canadian public? We're talking about a drug here. And when is it in the public interest for a adulterated drug, meaning this drug has something in it that shouldn't be there, that's dangerous to the Canadian populace? When is it in the public interest to allow an adulterated drug to be used by Canadians? And when is it in the public interest to allow a drug that is manufactured unsafely under unsanitary conditions to be sold and used by the Canadian public?